Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. All right, so we, of course, got a very special show for you today. Of course, I will introduce my guests. Of course, we have Lady G, we have Sheila of Celtic Tarot, and returning champion, as they would say, Susan-Lynn. Thank you so much for being back with us on the show. We've got quite a show prepared for you. I got the questions in and also across other pages. And then people also gave sort of like questions later. I tend to read the questions about an hour before the show starts, folks, because otherwise, anyway, that's just how I do it. That's just how I do it. And first of all, I'm sure all of you will be feeling the same way. We know that yesterday, Dolly Parton, Dolly Parton has passed. Yeah, Dolly Parton has passed. And I really feel like that America has lost an angel and a queen. Now, an angel and a queen. And I think truly her appeal truly was universal. She was loved by everyone, all colors, creeds, backgrounds. One of the most generous human spirits to ever grace the earth. And that is not even an overstatement. We can all agree Dolly was something special. No one had a bad word to say about her, not even Duck L'Orange. Yeah. We're not going to go into his statements. I know there's controversy apparently about what he said or whatever, but everyone loved Dolly. Her energy was so special. We know about her incredible talent, her musical gifts, how she would parody herself and, you know, say she's a dumb blonde and all of this stuff. When we know that Dolly was one of the smartest cookies out there. She was not only a very talented musician and performer, an extraordinary songwriter, she was also an extraordinary entrepreneur and philanthropist. And it has struck people very hard. And one of the things what I'm going to say is this, and I was thinking of this earlier on today, and I was talking with a client of mine about Dolly passing. And I said to her, death is a poor shot. Yeah? Death is a poor shot. And what do I mean by that? Because we all know who we wanted to hear news about, and it skipped. Yeah? And it's Dolly. Yeah? So what I'm going to do is, ladies, please indulge me. I'm just going to play a little clip here from UK News. This is from UK Daytime TV. And I've kind of got in the right place, so hopefully an advert won't play. And you're going to see how the Britain has been responding to this. And this guy that gives this extraordinary fact about Dolly, I didn't know this. This guy is called Richard Madeley, and he was literally crying. He struggled to control himself, you know, on the screen. And then I'm going to get your reactions, ladies, and then we'll get the reactions of peeps, and then we'll start with the show. So I'm going to share my screen, you know, the routine. Let me do share screen. So it's going to be about a minute, and I'm going to press play. And ladies, can you see it and hear it?
There's a book in there. It's the sayings of the Dalai Lama.
The sayings of the Dalai Lama.
I think what kind of comes across when people assess Dolly Parton's life is authenticity. So you can't second guess Dolly Parton's life story. She grew up in complete poverty and made a incredible, successful career for herself. So she could be, you know, talking about the kind of line she crossed, as it were, in terms of the culture wars. She did so because she was authentic, but also because she didn't kind of preach about it. She just made it seem completely natural. And there was a tweet I saw this morning. It says, "You will never see this tweet again," which is, on the one hand, Donald Trump saying, you know, we've lost an icon, but also the Democratic Socialists of America saying we've lost the working class hero.
Right.
So there's a big divide in American politics. You know, who are the people who can cross that divide? One of them was Dolly Parton.
Just very quickly, one newspaper this morning has done their sums. They've calculated that she could have been the world's first billionaire had she not given away so much money. She gave away so much. She gave away, I mean, in fact, it's incalculable, the amount of her money that she earned that she didn't keep for herself, but she gave to others.
And you know what's interesting, because we heard earlier, there's a moment where she was asked about that, and she said, of course, I wanted to make money for myself. You know, I was poor, I wanted to make money, wanted to make my family rich, I wanted us to live well. But she said, giving away money is what I would have done. I would have, if I'd been a waitress, I would have just collected my tips and I would have still done the same thing. It was in her soul to do it. It wasn't about the amount, it was just about her purpose in life.
And she had a faith. She had a very strong faith.
Yes,
didn't she?
huge,
I mean,
absolutely.
very strong Christian.
Very, very strong faith.
There you go. I just thought I would share that with you folks. So you can see here, old stiff upper lip Britain. The lips been quivering and everyone has it's just been devastating. But Lady G, Sheila, Susan, Lady G, what are your thoughts on Dolly and her life?
Well, I did the reading today and I got something that a lot of people thought I was downing her, because what had come out in my reading was she was very private and she was very controlling of her image and her private life. And so some people took that to be that I was downing on her, but that's what had come through. The other part of her life was she was very private, very protective of it, and very controlling of her image the whole time. She was very smart in what she was doing with her career. And so that's what mine came through. Now, yeah, she was very prolific in a lot of great things that she did, gave away a lot of money and stood up for a lot of people and never forgot her background, you know, tried to elevate things. So yeah, I'll leave it there. But yeah, like I said, when I got this morning, some people went on the warpath about because.
Bless. Thank you so much, Lady G. Sheila, your thoughts on Dolly?
Well, I loved her confidence and to do what she wanted to do. I hear it echo again. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that was my favorite part about her. She was like, I wear a wig because I want to. I did this because I want to. I did this because I want to. I wear this because I want to. And I used to always think about her confidence in that, like, do what you want. Whatever makes you feel better. Don't let the society critique who you are or edit your outfit, edit your hair. You know what I mean? So that was one of my favorites. And of course, I loved her music as well. She used to do this. One thing I remember her doing is she had these really, really long nails. And she said that she used to write songs. And she would be sitting there and she would use her nails as the melody. She'd go, da-da-da-da-da, and she would write songs with her nails. That's one of the things that I remember about her as well. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sheila. And Susan-Lynn, your thoughts on Dolly?
Well, I was raised in Kentucky, so I love that she came from that, you know, that part of the country that is so forgotten. You know, the Appalachia area is so forgotten, and she made it something. And then she went, Dolly World, you know, her amusement park, that thing was crashing and burning, and she bought it, had the vision for it, and made it into something successful. But the thing that I really loved about Dolly is that she was really quick-witted, which I am not. And I love that about her because it also flies in the face of this little woman from the mountains that doesn't know anything. It's like you guys have said, she was a business person. She was all these things, but she was very quick-witted. And one of the things that they've been talking about today is in one of her shows, this guy screams, like a lot of people do in concerts, "I love you." And she says, "I love you too, but I told you to stay in the trunk." Which I love her sense of humor. I love her sense of humor and her quick-wittedness. And boy, are we going to miss her.
Wow. So yeah, it's one of these things. And again, I was just reflecting today, and I realized, and I actually was like, wait a minute, I think I've read Dolly's chart. And I looked back and I did a video for my membership years ago on 20th of September 2021. I did a deep dive on Dolly's chart, so I'll release that with obviously with my thoughts now, I'll put that out somewhere else, probably on my Patreon and something, because there's a few things that I'd love to like explore in her life. But what a very special and beautiful soul. And the imagination library, wow. I only learned recently that the kids that got the books from her, they got one book a month. I didn't know that. I thought they just got, I knew it became international, but I didn't know it was one book a month. Anyone who was part of her imagination library, and I just think that is an extraordinary legacy. Let's just read off some quotes here, and then we'll start the show. Innocent Potato said, "Rest in peace, Dolly. Respect. Thank you for living such a wonderful, kind life. Money is like horse manure. It does its best work if you spread it around," she said. So true. Aaron says, like Dolly said, she wasn't dumb and she wasn't blonde. Yeah. And then Deborah says she loved her private husband. Yes. And I think he died last year. Bless. And that's very difficult. They were together for a long, long time. And Libby says Orange cut the funding for her imagination library earlier this year. Oh, my goodness. And then someone says here, Peck says Dolly's light will shine forever. And Reverse says she sang Prince Purple Rain and it was amazing. And then someone else said she was very protective of her family. Yes, she was. And then Mark says Windsor Castle Guard band played 9 to 5 in honor of Dolly. Wow, extraordinary. So, you know, a great light sadly has left the world, and we are in the eclipse season, guys, as you know. We just had the solar eclipses. Today is now the 27th here in the UK, and what the lunar eclipses happen, 27th today and 28th. And when I was looking back at Dolly's chart, she's a Leo rising, where a lot of the eclipses have been happening, and she's got the moon in the first house, and she's passed on the lunar eclipse effectively. It's like, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. All right, are we ready for the first question? Yeah. All right, so one card pull, I think. Oh, this is really worrying. There's so much going on in the world. So Nick Mink says, major flash flood in Nepal has washed away hundreds of people, and I think quite a few Brits as well. I've not been able to see the footage. I've not had time. And they said, is this a sign of things to come? And someone else was asking, I think it was Asheral Star says there was a major massive flood on the China and Nepal border. Is this part of the shift? I mean, I'm not sure what they mean by the shift, as in like planetary shifts or spiritual shifts, but let's read on that. What's the energy around that? Is this more of this type of thing to come? And I'm just looking for my cards. And we'll start as usual with Lady G, and we'll go round, and then we'll be finishing up with myself, and then it'll be Sheila, then Susan, then me. All right. Oh, we just can't catch a break at the moment, can we? We just can't catch a break. What's going on? Is this part of the spiritual shifts? What's going on with these floods? We've had earthquakes, just a lot. And Tim Curry has gone as well. That's the other one as well. Yeah. Tim Curry. Oh man. Okay. So after 3, Lady G going first. 1, 2, and 3.
Well, I've gotten the 5 of Swords, so you know, a lot of tough things. And under what jumped out at me was the wheel turning as well. So yeah, we're going to have more and more difficult times coming up. Volcanoes and earthquakes and all of that is just going to amp up.
Yeah. Earth shifting. Sheila, what do you have?
Well, I got the Knight of Pentacles. You know, the Knight of Pentacles, number 1, it's grounding, right? Number 2, the words on here, this is a different kind of a deck, but it says, what am I committing to maintaining? And that was kind of interesting about the earth. Like, what have we committed to maintain the earth? What have we done to, check ourselves? And not very much, apparently. So I think maybe it's an uphill battle as this horse and this soldier is going uphill. And it just looks like an uphill battle at this point.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Sheila. And Susan-Lynn, how do you interpret your card? What do you have? Oh dear.
I have the Ten of Swords. I mean, that pretty much says it all, right? All I can say is, when you're shuffling, you glimpse cards. You sort of glimpse them and you think, no. And you keep shuffling, and the darn card that you glimpsed comes out anyway. It's like, this is what happened here. So anyway, all I can say about this, the Ten of Swords, is this is the end, right? Like, I feel like even though things are bad, I almost feel like we're coming to a culmination of wrapping it up. And it may not be for another couple of months, but I really feel like bad things are happening, but I really feel like this is, I think, why Sheila got her card, is that we're sort of wrapping it up, but it's pretty bad right now, unfortunately.
Gosh, yeah. And I wish all of our cards were more positive, but we have to say what we see, isn't it, ladies? And if we look here, Nine of Swords. So of course, this is a card of what? Anguish, sleepless nights, worry. I think we're all feeling like this. We're kind of looking at the world, aren't we? And we see these natural disasters. We see earthquakes. We see floods. These people have been washed away. Eruptions. All of this stuff. And I feel like it is a very stressful time for humanity. But also as well, I think when we look at the astrology as well, and Balbo's basket and all of those planets lining up the other day, all of this shaking of our foundations, the revelations, the Epstein files, all of it. This is also part of, I think, our collective awakening as well. But we have to, it's like we're all being forced to witness all of this ugly, isn't it? And then we look, and then Dolly Parton's dead, then Tim Curry's dead, and we just think, oh my God, it's the wrong ones, absolutely the wrong ones, but we don't get to choose. So it's part of a bigger theme, isn't it? Unfortunately. Oh, bless. All right. Are we ready for the next question? All right. So this time, Susan-Lynn going first on this one. Now we're going to be.
It's Sheila.
Oh, sorry. Sheila, pardon me. forgive me, sorry. So it's because I was looking here at number 3. So this is Denise Ferguson, and this is about the Mexican border. So she's written here, the DOJ is petitioning the Supreme Court to sign off on the Great Pumpkin's Day 1 proclamation to shut down asylum claims at the US-Mexican border. The DOJ accuses lower courts of judicial interference. This is ridiculous. Will the Supreme Court hear this case when their new term begins in October, or will a majority shut this proclamation down? Yeah. So I think, as Denise is saying, it seems Duck L'Orange made this case to shut down asylum claims. Where does he want it to be then? If it's not going to be on the US border, does he want it to be in Mexico or something? Do any of us know where he originally wanted those asylum claims to take place then?
Well, asylum claims can be taken anywhere in the United States. This is a little off, like, it kind of confusing for me. No matter where you're at in the United States, you can ask for asylum. So the Supreme Court decided on June 25th, 2026, that is still standing on Mexican side of the border, has no legal arrival to the United States. I think this is what it meant. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is a little different. It says standing on the let me read this, because there's some stuff that said that someone who is still standing on Mexican side of the border has not legally arrived in the United States. Therefore, U.S. officials are not required under that part of the asylum law to let that person come through the port of entry just so they can make an asylum claim.
Ah, okay.
See, it's a little bit of a spin on it, but it's kind of confusing to me as well. I need, a scholar at this point to kind of really explain a little bit to me. Does anybody else have any better explanation? But it says, but the second case happened. It's like removing people who have already crossed into the United States without giving them an opportunity to seek asylum is not what they're going after.
Okay. Ooh,
Are they trying to stop asylum completely? Because that's kind of what I feel. I mean, maybe the question is, are they just trying to stop giving people asylum?
Well, I think that when you're at the border and you want to come into the United States, what you don't say is, I want to seek asylum. You need another excuse. When you get here, then you can do a seek asylum. But they're talking about when you're standing on the Mexican border and you say, I want to go to the United States to seek asylum, they can deny you that privilege.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
I think that's what the whole just is. Somebody in the comments, maybe a scholar that has a little bit more information, but I have a feeling that's what they're talking about.
All right. Let's see. So let's do a one-card pull then, see what the energy is around that. And if SCOTUS are going to further support Duck L'Orange or maybe kind of give him a slap in the face. So Sheila going first and after 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Oh, my Wheel of Fortune came in upside down.
Wow. Okay. How do you interpret your card, Sheila?
So right side up on these cards, it says, where I have left things to fate instead of choice. And how interesting. Exactly. That it came in. It says now it is left to fate instead of choice. Now you have to make a different decision, and the reason why you're coming into the United States instead of fate. Well, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, maybe I'm here, like that. But it's upside down, so it sounds like somebody's fortune. It's just gonna change. It's not gonna go well. I don't know how that all works logistically, but yeah, it just seems like that's what they're trying to do.
It's not clear anymore. Thank you. Susan, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I got the Strength card, and I feel like, I'm drawn to the fact that the woman is controlling the lion, which is not, typical. I mean, I'm kind of going a little bit different than the tarot traditional reading, because what I'm feeling is I think the Supreme Court is not going to back the orange imposter with this. I feel like this, because when I go into this energy of this reminds me of, the women on the court maybe turning against the, this sort of play. They're playing with people. You know what I mean? I just think the Supreme Court is going to do the right thing here. Might not be, I think Sheila's right that it might be a little muddy. They might not make it super clear. So it might, in that way, it might go back down to the lower courts, just sort of get worked out. But I think overall, I think we're going to prevail. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Here I've got, let me just turn my light to the side. Apologies for the reflection, but as you know, I film at midnight in the UK. So what we've got here is this is the Knight of Swords, as you can see here. So this tells me, I think this is the viewpoint of Duck L'Orange. It is about aggression. Yeah, it's about aggression. That's their tactic. It's also, I think, to act as a powerful deterrent, because it's not making it clear, like tying it in as well with Sheila's card, this element of fortune or luck being involved rather than knowing what your legal status is. So I think this is an act of aggression by the regime to try and deter people from coming. I don't think many people are coming anyway, because you're only going to be snatched off the street again. But anyway, that's how I'm seeing it. Lady G. Oh, and sorry, I forgot to say, a high priestess fell out as well. So there's machinations. There's a secret plan there. Sorry, Lady G.
Yeah, I got pick up on on South Street, Patsy of Smoke, a Patsy of Smoke, and then underneath driving it tomorrow is another day. So I don't think this is going to fly, but they're going to try another avenue again.
Wow. Wow. Thanks so much for that. And we've got some more commentary coming in, obviously, about Dolly, just to add a little bit more. Where is it? Someone says here, fantastic actress as well, of course. And then loved Wildflowers with Linda Ronstadt, Emmylou. They seem like such genuine friends, and Lily Tomlin too. And then just picking up on what Sheila said, Tamara said she wrote 9 to 5 on her fingernails, waiting for the movie scene to be filmed. Oh, what a gem. Oh, Dolly, rest in peace. You'll be very, very much missed. All right, are we ready for the next question, ladies? Yeah. All right, so question number, let's go here. Actually, let's just renumber these because that was really 2. That one really is 3. So Susan-Lynn will be going first on this one. This is an interesting one. I think we've read on it before, but let's just see what we get this time. So Denise Ferguson again, she said, former President Biden's family confirmed his cancer has spread to his bones. Oh, bless. I mean, that's just, a president normally has a state funeral lasting 7 to 10 days, she says. It consists of lying in state at the Capitol for public viewing and a 21-jet flyover and a 21-gun salute. When the time comes and the Biden family chooses a state funeral, will the White House allow the former president all the honors he deserves? And Susan, you're going first on this one, Susan-Lynn.
We can only imagine what the hell's going to happen. All right.
Didn't he refuse to put the flag half mask when Carter, or who was it, Carter that died?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think so. He's put on half mask for Dolly though, hasn't he? Yeah.
Oh yeah, for Dolly he did, yeah.
For Dolly,
but not
yeah.
for, yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, Dolly's good, but good God.
Well, Dolly's a legend. Dolly's a legend. Let's see here. All right, there we go. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. How do you interpret your card, Susan-Lynn?
I got the 9 of Wands, and as you can see, this is just, bandaged and holding your own here. And what I think this means is, and I think we probably should also pay attention to Bill Clinton, because I don't think it's going to be Biden. I think it's probably going to be Bill. But anyway, whoever it is, we're probably going to have this freaking thing happen that we have to deal with, another thing. And what I feel like is this: 45 cannot not jump in front of something. You see him at every soccer, World Cup, trying to get the trophy. They've had to peel it out of his hands several times. They've had to shoo him out of the picture. So yes, he's going to do a ta-da for the president, but it's because he has to, because he can't stand not being there, not being in front of the cameras, not being mourning, he couldn't not be there, right? He couldn't not do it because it's too much publicity for him to miss. Not to say that he won't get his shots in, or he won't, be absolutely pathetic about it, but I think he will do it. It'll be weird, but I think he will do it. I don't want to see it though. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And I think my card might be picking up on that. Let me just move it again to the side. There we are. So you can see here the Knight of Cups, everyone. And as you guys know, this can be a card I often refer to it as the envoy. Yeah, the envoy. It can do a lot with charm, and it can do a lot with seduction. There can be a duplicitous side to it as well, but with what Susan-Lynn is saying, I feel that kind of ties in as well. It's almost as if Duck L'Orange is not going to be able to resist the opportunity, the to be, of course, in front of the cameras, and obviously wax lyrical on whatever it is that he wants to say. So I think he sees it more as an opportunity to bring forward a message, and maybe even kind of campaign. So if something like that, he would use it to try and woo and charm his whatever he believes his base to be. Yeah. Lady G?
Well, he would like to, and I'm sure on his live central page, he will just be so obnoxious and hateful. But he can't avoid it because the people would rally too hard for it. And they will stand up, and so he's got to follow through with it. But yeah, behind the scenes, he's going to be his usual obnoxious, hateful self.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Lady G. And Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I got the Hierophant. So there's higher beings other than him in play. However, I don't want to honor him when he dies, to be honest with you. I don't want him anywhere near our White House because he's a liar, this, that, and the other, right? So I don't know if I am tainted by that, but I have a feeling that if he was going to do that, you're right. I think he wants the accolades. See what I did. He would want the opportunity to trash talk Biden for the last time. I think that he would absolutely make it all about him, him dying. But I don't know. I just get scared. My feelings and my emotions about it are not settled, whether he would do it or he would not do it, or he would just make a debauchery, or he would just make a mess of it. You know what I mean? We wouldn't have it. We wouldn't be able to honor Biden because Trump's in the way. Kind of a situation. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. Someone says, Sherry French says, the new Congress, along with the people, will insist everything is done by proper protocol for former President Joe Biden, the people's president. And then someone quite simply here, I love this one. This comes in from Mark, and it says, clots and stairs. Clots and stairs. I mean, we will have to see, but yeah, it's a complex one, isn't it? It's a complex one. But remember what I said, folks. I said wickedness is a great preservative, man. I mean, wickedness is a great preservative. There are many wicked people who are able to hold out for a long time. But it seems that Biden, sadly, when that time comes, will have his due, because basically Duck Larange doesn't want to pass on that opportunity to, grandstand potentially. All right, this time we're gonna do a full card pull, on this one. And I just want to say a thank you to everyone who's joining us here so far. There is currently 2,602 of you watching, I think, in the chat or watching us live now. So thank you so much, everyone, for all of the support. And of course, like and subscribe and share and all that jazz. And this is interesting. So Nick Minks again. Now, this is why you'll see why I suggest we have a full card pull on this. She says here, what do the cards say on Nick Minks, what do the cards say on flying visit by CIA head? The head of the CIA has flown to Moscow, warning them off from supporting, so warning the Russians off from supporting Iran, or are they grabbing info for electoral interference? Yeah, so she's interested to see. Apparently, Russia have responded, and they've given their intel to Iran to say, listen, basically the CIA are saying they want to do this and want to do that to try and kind of basically get them to open the Strait of Hormuz. So full card pull. I think it's me going first this time, isn't it? Full card pull. What is the CIA up to going to Moscow? Yeah, of all places. Let's see, full card pull. Oh, what times we live in. Okay. CIA. CIA. Let's go. Let's go. All right. C'est moi. I'm going first. Ooh. Oh, how interesting. Oh, I'm going to have to pull a clarifier. 1 minute. On my last card, what's the clarifier on that? What's the clarifiers on the sun? Oh, all right. Oh, I had a feeling. All right, here we go. Sometimes the cards can be metaphorical and sometimes they're literal. If we look here, let me just turn my light to the side. If we look here, we can see we've got the 8 of Wands. Now, this is my card for what? Yeah, all things that fly through the air. It can deal with missiles, etc. But it can literally, I also associate it with flying. Yeah. So, of course, the head of the CIA is what? Flown to Moscow. Yeah, we can see it here. Then the next card that I get is the Ace of Swords, which of course is in reference to being the sword of truth, or many of us readers call this the no BS card. Yeah, this is the card where you're going to have a frank and honest conversation. So obviously the CIA have gone to Moscow and they're having like a proper discussion, yeah, discussion and debate. About what? Here we've got the Justice card. So they're talking about legalities. This wasn't just the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. If it was only that, then I probably would have got the 3 of Wands, which is like my card for the Strait of Hormuz. This is talking about some legal, some kind of legal entity, institution. This is also my card for SCOTUS, but it also talks about legal challenges. I have a feeling this might be to do with the elections. Yeah, why do I, or the midterms, why do I say that? Look at the next card, the Emperor. Yeah, the Emperor. This can talk about very powerful, strong patriarchal power. There can be positives to this card, but of course we're reading on politics. So this can obviously talk about Declarange's ambitions, but of course this is also who? Putinshka. Yeah, remember he always shows up for me as the Emperor or the Empress. So they've been talking closely with Putin, with the Kremlin. And then if we look here, there's the Sun card. So this talks about full disclosure, clarity, etc. Something was made very, very clear. And I think something has become very, very clear to Putin. And he's obviously relayed his information to Iran because they're allies, yeah? China, Russia, and Iran are all allies. Everyone knows that. So really, what is this clarity about? Look at this. 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords. The CIA has gone over there because they want to end something. Remember, this is also the card of what? Betrayal. So what is it that they're betraying? What is it that they're trying to end? Yeah. And then if we look here, we've got the Judgment card. Yeah. Judgment card. This is where, you know, basically it's a proclamation. It's almost like a clarion call, you know, the bugle call from the archangel. And then, unfortunately, if we look, the final outcome card, it's the Devil. Yeah. I don't think, again, for entertainment purposes only, but I don't think the CIA was there to help democracy or whatnot. I don't think so. Not with those cards. Lady G?
Well, the reading's about gaslighting. Of course, the energy coming into it is wanting to bring an end. Above it, they're out in the cold because the lid has come off on the abominations. So the energy now, what's going on now, is wanting to temper the challenges, the burden that's going on with what's the heaviness of all of this. Above it, the message of a new reality about investigations that are taking place. The outcome is rapidly moving with an outside influence of more light being shed on what's coming in when it comes to the choices and life path he's walked and what he's doing. So again, wanting to try to cover over some things that are going to come out that are going to be very, very devastating.
Wow. So you think that's the CIA's motivation for going to Moscow, to try and keep things under wraps?
Yeah, try to keep things under wraps that are going to be coming forward.
Wow. Wow. Yes. And that would link in with my Sun card as well, which is the card of what? Full disclosure. Wow. Okay. Thanks so much, Lady G. Sheila, how do you interpret your cards?
Well, my first card up was the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles on here is talk about the lack of stability. It says, what am I learning about the lack of stability, and what am I looking at, and things like that. And of course, the Two of Pentacles is that, what do I do? What do I do? Because I got the stingy card with it. And it's about money, of course, but it's not about a lot of money, but it is about money of some sort, or stingy about some information, stingy about, we don't want this out. We want this to be, something like that. And I have a feeling that has to do with a prisoner for some reason. And I don't know why that came up. Like they're trying to negotiate a prisoner out that we don't even really know about. Because I also got the Moon and the Justice. And I thought, there's somebody in prison there in the moonlight that we don't know that they have. And that's what the CIA does, is they negotiate prisoners as well. And then they go over and get, intel and stuff like that. So the Four of Swords is also a little telltale there, is the Four of Swords and the Devil. This guy is not a good guy. If we get him out, this is not politically going to help us out, but we want him back. For some reason, they want this guy, or they want the information, or there's some sort of information around the Devil that they're holding, the Four of Swords. They're holding him back. I would think that the Four of Swords is kind of like the prison walls. I also got the Two of Wands. Nothing is arcana in my spread. That's kind of the weirdest thing. Nothing is big and huge. So this is like small, under the radar, something we weren't looking at. Something that nobody talked about or anything like that, because I got the Page of Wands. That's the highest arcana I have. And the Two of Wands. The Page of Wands is travel and that message and that discovery. And the Two of Wands, or sorry, the Page of Wands, yeah. The Two of Wands is, what choice am I delaying? So there's a delay in some choice or decision over there. And then all of that, I put it all together, and I put something about dismemberment. It doesn't mean they're going to dismember a body, but they're trying to unravel a situation. And it's an affair that they didn't want to get into, or an affair that they're having. So that's kind of my thing, and it feels prison-like to me. So whatever that means.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. And Susan-Lynn, how do you interpret your cards?
Well, I got some of the same cards that you did, Hoagie. So we start off with the Eight of Cups, moving away. I feel like whatever they went there to say, cut it out, right? You are jacking with us. You're blocking us. You're running around behind us. You're causing us problems. We're coming here to tell you to stop doing it. If you stop doing it, we have the Nine of Cups. Look, we're rich. You're rich. I'm rich. We can make you rich. There's a lot of money here. You can get this money. We can do this. And we are going to make this happen. Like, we're going to fight back. This is not just giving in to you, because again, we're trying to say, look, we can be really happy here. But if you don't do that, then there's a transformation. And the transformation could be you. We can get rid of you. We've done regime change. We can do regime change. We just flew right into your country during a war. We don't even care. We don't have a Congress. We don't have a DOJ. We don't have a Supreme Court. We can do anything we want. And we are the judges. We're going to be the judges of this situation, because here's the government. The government just showed up next to the judgment card, followed by the Tower card, as if, look, we're serious here, followed by the Ten of Swords. So I think this was a real shot across the bow. They didn't publish that this plane was going, but they didn't turn off the transponders, which allowed those people that track planes, because there's a whole group of people who do nothing but track planes. They were able to track this plane. That means you didn't mind people tracking you, because they turn off their transponders off and on just to freak with these, mess with these people. So I think this was a real message, not only to Russia, but to the whole world, that we're the new big dog in town, and you're going to have to do it our way or else. And I don't think Russia's going to play that. I think Putin is going to be like, go away, little boys, So I think this is actually going to be worse. And maybe that's why, maybe this is for us. The 10 of swords is for us. I don't know. Big ego men playing with the whole world, right? With the world's oil resources, with the whole world's, with our money, with our safety. It's just got to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good point. Very good point. Just going to bring in some more of the viewers who leave in some very interesting quotes here. Is this verified? Taurus says he wants to tear down the Kennedy Center now. Is this correct?
Yes. That is the statement. Let me look up and see what was exactly said. Hang on.
Oh God.
Yeah, basically, if he doesn't get his name on there, he wants to tear it down.
Oh.
Yeah.
This feels like torture, doesn't it? It feels like absolute torture. Absolute torture. Someone says here, just in as Sheila looks up some bits and bobs, Crystal Blue says he would make it all about losing to Biden in the 2020 election, if that were to happen. And then Manwich says Don Snorleone is pumped up with so many chemicals he won't need to be embalmed. Yeah, this is true. And because some people were saying, well, don't you think Trump's going to go before Biden? And you guys will remember I did a reading on him. Do you remember we were looking? I can't remember if it was a solo show or if it was one of these shows, but we were talking about the 22 specialist doctors that are working round the clock to keep Duck L'Orange alive. And I remember I got the magician card. I said, guys, they are doing absolutely everything they can to keep that guy alive. They're probably mixing up concoctions in the Petri dish and injecting it into his arm, because unfortunately, as we know, because he is the president, he does have the world's best healthcare. That guy should, the first time he caught COVID, that should have been the end. Yeah, let alone the other times. I think he's about 18 months overdue the kaput, but what can we do? What can we do? Someone said here, Pooh Bear says Dump will have to deal with Hunter at the funeral. Yeah, indeed. And then someone says here, Tamara says, I'm hoping Biden attends Trump's funeral, not the other way around. Yes, indeed. Sheila, did you get some extra info there?
So it says, what happened this week is pretty striking. On August 25th, Trump administration told a federal court that if Trump renovation plans are blocked and the Kennedy Center continues to be deteriorating, the building could eventually have to be taken down. The filing even floated the possibility of replacing it with a large outdoor amphitheater overlooking the Potomac. But of course, there's no current approval plan or demolition plan or anything like that. He just says the stupidest crap and then hires the worst contractors. I mean, but it's probably just another thing to get us all mad about at this point. But he's probably serious. But
yeah. Gosh, madness. So it's a tantrum.
I think we should do a 1-card pull on it. Will he do it or not? Because he didn't get approval for tearing down part of the White House. He just did it, and now what are you going to do now?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, let's do that then. Let's do a 1-card pull. And then, because I went first on this one, isn't it? So, Lady G, you'll be going first on this one. Let's do a 1-card pull, and let's just see if he would just. Oh, the petulance, Oh,
Yeah.
you run out of words. You just run out of words. Run out.
What
of
they
words.
want to
All right.
call it is President Trump's Plaza.
Oh.
I'm telling you, when that man leaves and we get enough power, we're going to pressure that administration to remove every single stitch of his name on anything, anywhere.
All right.
And the pressure is going to be good.
One card pull, and then let's just see Kennedy Center. All right, so Lady G, you'll be going first on this one. After 3, 1, 2, 3.
Cards are upset.
Well,
What do
I've
you
got the 5 of Pentacles. He's out in the cold with this. Of course, he would love to do it. He would love to tear it down.
He would love to do it, but you're saying he's out in the cold, so maybe not?
Yeah, the 5 of Pentacles outside of,
Yeah.
So he won't get the support. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he won't get support for it for sure.
All right. Thank you so much. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
I got the propaganda card from my cards. It says, what am I consistently watching? Like, why are you paying attention to this? This is not something to pay attention to. This is hoopla. This is another, look over there, look over there, look over there, kind of card. So I'm thinking that it would literally take years before that. Well, maybe, I don't know.
He could bomb it. Trust me.
Yeah, he does what he wants.
Yeah, could be a squirrel. Maybe it's a squirrel moment. Thank you, Sheila. Susan-Lynn, how do you interpret your card?
The 10 of Cups, and I said, well, wait a minute, wait a minute, The question was, my question was, would he do it? Would he be able to do it? This is a yes card, so I mean, it looks like yes, and then just because that freaked me out, the cards under it were the 5 of Wands fighting, the 6 of Cups, nostalgia, and then the 7 of Cups, which is more like your card. So I think maybe this is what he wants to do, but I don't know that he's going to pull it off. We know this is what he wants to do, and I honestly think, look, he did the White House the same way. He didn't ask for any permission. It was just gone. So it may be that he damages it in some way, but does not destroy it.
Gosh. It's just absolutely, isn't it astonishing what we have to read on now?
Horrible.
Like this renegade, wild president. So here I am, just moving my light to the side so it's not too bright. You can see here, I've got the moon card. So again, this is a really simple interpretation. He is a lunatic. Yeah. Doug Larange is an absolute loony bin. We all know that he has just completely lost the plot.
Yeah.
The fact that this is even being indulged, I think they know that the wheels are coming off. He's going to say a lot of crazy stuff, and that's almost part of the point, because it's this distraction. It's the squirrels. It's another red squirrel he's throwing out there. With the White House, of course, that's one thing, because he literally has more domain over that. The Kennedy Center, I'm inclined to agree with you, ladies. I think even that for him is a bridge too far, unless it was accidentally struck, or there was some red flag event. That's the only way that I could see it, rather than it being formally allowed. But the fact that we're even reading on this stuff is already extraordinary, isn't it? So we'll move on to the next question. I just want to say thank you. We've got 2,968 of you here live with us now, so thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's look at, so we did a 1 card pull, so let me just put here 1 card pull. Let me put here pull Don, and I'll put here down Kennedy Center, just so I can remember for my notes. Kennedy Center question mark. So this comes in from Amber Wood. Thank you so much for your question. She says, question, hello, Hoagie and wonderful guests. The regime, I can't believe this. Anyway, the regime wants to open more land for logging. They are currently planning to spray glyphosate, Roundup, which is Roundup known as that, Monsanto, who had people lie about its actual safety. We know glyphosate is a powerful hormone disruptor and nerve agent. The National Forest Service is being duped, she says. It's currently planned to be sprayed in Northern California, I believe. Will they attempt to spray glyphosate on all the states that have had wildfires? Thanks so much. Oh my God, one card pull. Sheila, you'll be going. Sheila, you'll be going first on this one. Oh, I just want to vomit. It's just. Anyway. All right, let's see here. What are they spraying? Oh, sorry. There. All right, we're going to go after 3. You ready, Sheila? All right, after 3. 1, 2, and 3. How do you interpret your card, Sheila?
I got the Page of Swords. Message, the unscrupulous business, the deceitful person, the lies, the stuff like that. The thing about it is we're not in a good relationship with Canada anymore, where we got most of our lumber from. So therefore, they're looking to see what we could pillage and rape here in the United States. And
of course.
Yes, so that's one of the reasons. But they are having problems. Like we have beetles, we have diseased wood that is here. That is a true statement. That is truly what needs to be done. But they always go for chemical versus natural abilities to sustain our lifestyle. So they just compound the problem. Like here in Colorado, just real quick, here we had the beetles that was eating our pine trees. So what happened is they understood, they figured out that the beetle needed to be like 3 weeks consistently under freezing in order to kill them. So what they were trying to figure out and naturally do that is that's what we decided to do. And now we're becoming better, and we don't have the pine needles that are eating our trees like it was really, really bad. But they just understood what was going on. We had some really good winters, and we finally got a handle on it. But what the government wanted us to do is throw some chemicals on it. And Colorado is really against that. So we naturally took care of ours, but it took about 20 years. And they don't like time. They don't like patience. So anyways, my long spiel about that is that they need logs. They don't have a good relationship with Canada. And they want to, of course, do it with chemicals as usual. So
thank you so much. Susan-Lynn, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I got the sun, and I just feel like this is illumination. I feel like this is not going to fly. People are going to say, no, it goes into the streams, it goes into the groundwater. You now have people that are rural, even if it's Northern California. I mean, that's not so far away really from other states that are very red. That's going to poison their groundwater. People are not that stupid, honestly. So I think illumination is coming. And I think this illumination is going to help us all see that this is not the right way, and also see what Sheila is saying. This is the reason why we can see through your thinly veiled reasons. So I feel cautiously optimistic about the sun card.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Here I've got the King of Pentacles, and this is my card for what? The lobbyists, the rich folk. They are doing this because they're like, oh, goody, 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 we're going to make a ton of money. That's all that these people ever care about. They don't care about legacy and forever chemicals. They don't care about the environment. They don't care about people. It's just about the wealth. Very simple. Lady G, you're closing the show.
Well, I got the marrying maiden, a compromising situation, subordination, succumbing to seduction and a manipulation. So, you know, it's all going to be about going after especially blue states and try to ruin what they can. And then they want to be able to tear down the forests so that they can sell that land to businesses. So, yeah, they're doing whatever they can to ruin it. So they have to tear it down so they can sell it to businesses, sell off public lands.
Gosh, dreadful, dreadful. And I don't have enough time to read on it now, but I'll probably do that on my Friday Fry-Up. I hear they're going after the horses as well and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
These people are just unspeakably evil. But, you know, this is as well, as tough as it is, folks, this is the wake-up call, isn't it? This is the wake-up call for all of us. This is the wake-up call for all of us, humanity, to come together as one, to unite our voices. This is the wake-up call as well for the midterms that is coming. No matter what they're throwing at you guys, vote, vote, vote. It does matter. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying so hard to kind of pull everyone in all sorts of different directions. And imagine it being like the cicadas, yeah? The cicadas. What they do is they overwhelm their opposition by their sheer numbers,
Noise.
yeah?
And he's saying cicadas. He just has an accent, but they're called cicadas here.
All right, cicadas.
Yeah.
Tomato, you know.
You know, you just got that English accent, but here we know them as cicadas or locusts. We call them cicadas.
Exactly, indeed. So that.
Well, I didn't know they overwhelmed. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what they do. They're not the best flyers. They're not the best flyers in the world, and they've got an extraordinary life process, which I think takes about 15 years for it to complete. But what they do is they come out in such numbers, they overwhelm their predators. Yeah. So think about that, folks. All right, I will leave it there. It was over 1,000, over 3,000 of you at one point.
Thanks for being here, everyone.
Indeed. So please like, share, and subscribe, and all that jazz. And also as well to the ladies' channels. Susan-Lynn, thank you so much for being here with us. As usual, I'll be in touch again to see when your next rebut is. There's a big cycle.
Oh, who's on next week?
It's the four of us as usual, isn't it? Because remember, it alternates. So it'd be the usual lineup. Lady G, thank you so much. Sheila, thank you so much. Susan-Lynn, thank you so much. Everyone else also as well, thank you so much for joining us. And rest in peace, Dolly. You are an earth angel and you were a gem and you will be much, much missed. Yeah. So big love, everyone, and bye-bye for now. Mwah! Overwhelm them with your votes. All right. Bye for now, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.